What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. DJI RS4. They just came out with this like probably 2 days ago, and Amazon already has this in front of my door already. Unbelievable how fast you can get stuff now. Anyway, here it is. Let's go ahead and unbox it, set it up, do a little bit comparison between this and the RS3 that I have already. And also, guys, just know that this is not the RS4 Pro. This is just the regular RS4, okay? So if you're looking for the low end, but very good gimbal, this is gonna be it right here. I've seen some video about it, but that's about it. Didn't really look all into it to see what's the difference between this and the RS3. So anyway, hopefully we can talk about that today too, okay? Let's do it. Let's open this up. I can't wait. So just to let you know, I use this for filming football, band stuff a lot. I spend hours out there shooting this thing, and the first thing that you're probably going to be asking is that how long does the battery last? Well, I can tell you that the battery will last you pretty much like 7 hours. Shooting off and on, I mean turning off the gimbal off and on. So it lasts me for like 7 to 8 hours without charging it at all. When I come home, it's still working. That's a beauty. Very similar to the RS3, but seem a little bit heavier. And I feel like, yeah, they've updated some tech on here. This feature right here used to be only for the RS3 Pro, but now they've added into the standard model. So that's nice right there. The plate, which looks the same as the RS3. Still got these groove right here for you to adjust. Here's a mini tripod. Looks a little upgraded from the older one. Looks like there's a lot more support here. Nice rubber feet. There are some stickers, some DJI stickers in here if you guys like that. This box here is all the wires, okay. USB-C, USB-C, USB-A to USB-C as well. And here's all the screws. Yep, this is your camera plate, which looks like they've done some things to this, where it's upgraded from the older one. Looks like pretty much the same here, guys, with the handle. Tripod mount down here. The USB-C charging is still right there. You press the button and it will tell you how much battery you have left, which I believe the battery is dead. Let's plug this baby on and then lock that up. So this is the new switch that I've been hearing about, where you can actually use the controller here, the thumbstick, to control your zoom or control the gimbal. So that's something new right there. Okay, guys, when we come back, I'm going to grab my A7 IV and then we're going to install it on here, okay? And maybe I'll also walk through a little tutorial on how to balance your gimbal before you turn it on as well. So yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, so I've prepared my camera. I had to take off some of the cage stuff that I had on here in order for it to fit on the gimbal itself. Now, here's my setup for my RS3. I do have a small rig cage. As you can see right here, this is the cage for my A7 IV. So it does add a little bit more weight to it. But the beauty about this cage is that the bottom right here, you have just your standard Arca Swiss type of mounting system. I don't have to use this plate right here in order to mount my camera on there, because even DJI knows this, and that's why they've added this little thing right here that supports, I guess, the lens that is on. The problem with this kind of plate is that when you put your camera on top right there, in time, as you're shooting, the plate would turn and your camera will be off balance. And in the heat of the moment, running in gun style, you're not gonna know that, and then you suddenly realize, why is my camera shaking or off balance? And that's the problem with these plates, and that's why they've kind of made this plate the way it is today, is so that you can actually, you know, rest your camera on there so that it doesn't move as much, if that makes sense. With the cage, I have a small rig cage with this entire thing being the cage itself, and it fits on here. Let me show you. You see that? And I just lock that baby in. Now, I am sure that this thing is not gonna move at all. And yeah, so that's my setup that I have been using for the past year or so, and I totally love it. No longer do I have to stop, take my camera off, and try to, you know, crank this thing, to tighten it up. All right, so next, let's go ahead and drop this thing on here. Let's go ahead and balance it, that kind of stuff. Okay, so as you can see, I already mount this baby on here. If you're new to the market on gimbal, this is literally the best gimbal that you can get on the market right now. You're gonna love this thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and lock this baby on there so that it stays on there. And now I'm gonna lock all of my axes, okay? And the first thing you wanna do is you wanna remove your lens cover, whichever one that you have on there, so that everything right now is balanced out, including opening up the screen to however you want it, so that everything is balanced on there, okay? The first thing you want to do is you want to balance this right here, and what I've done is I usually tilt it up so, and then open this up on top here, and go ahead and move that to where it balances. So you see how it's still like tilting? Here, let me turn it this way so you can kind of see that. So what I'm gonna do is I want to push this right here over until this piece balance. There we go. To me, that looks balanced to me. Yeah, so that looks balanced to me. Now I gotta move the camera up a little bit, because you can definitely feel that it's weighted down just a bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up. Oh, now it's front heavy, so let's move it back down a little bit. So now I feel like it's a little still front heavy. Now here's the beauty about it, is that there's this little knob back here where you can actually tilt. So yeah, that little knob right there. So as you can see, if I let go, it still fall forward a little bit. So I gotta adjust that now, just making sure that it stays wherever I put it. It's almost there, but you can see that it's still it's still rolling, right? But I would say this is pretty good. So it doesn't move on its own anymore, and that's what I really want right there. It's semi-balanced. It's not the best out there. It's still a little bit front heavy. So I'm going to dial it back just a tiny bit. There you go. Yep. So that right there is definitely balanced. As you can see, whatever position that I'm putting it at right now, it just stays, and that's what we want right there, guys. So guys, I turn on the gimbal just to check on my balance, and before everything unlocks on the gimbal, you actually have to activate your gimbal right here. This is what DJI does with pretty much all of their product, where they activate a device, and literally you have to log in order for the device to follow you and things like that. So just to let you know on that one, okay, you will have to sign up with them for your physical hardware device to even work. Okay, so now let's continue with balancing the arm right here. There's this little locking mechanism right here that you can unlock to move the arm back and forth. And they've kind of improved on this, I feel like, but I don't think they've done enough. It's definitely not like the Pro version, like the RS3 Pro, where it slides easily. This still has a lot of friction on it. I still have to lift my camera in order for me to move back and forth. But anyway, I think I have it on the right position right now. I can tune that out a little bit more if I wanted to. Okay, so last but not least, if you want to really balance this thing, you have to balance this joint right here. So unlock this piece, and the way that I've been doing it is that once I've unlocked that piece, I tilt it this way to see if it falls or not, and it doesn't. So I'm going to tilt it the other way. It falls a little bit, but as you can see, it came back. For the purpose of the video, I'm not going to tweak it anymore. I think that's pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that as well. So once you balance all of those, let's go ahead and turn it on. And then for you guys that are new to the gimbal world, the RS world, once you turn it off, so if I were to turn it off, it locks it all up in that way. Pretty cool, right? Now turn it back on. Yeah. I believe if you press this thing once, it will lock out a joint without folding it. Yeah, there we go. So that puts it into sleep, and it locks all the joints up. If you want to turn it back on, out of sleep mode, there you go. You just press the button once. If you hold this button, it will power down and fold down. Just be careful of your screen right here if it comes out, okay? So it's a little fast on the RS4. The RS3 isn't as fast locking things up. All right, while I have this camera on, I'm going to show you guys the screen really quickly. This is very similar to RS3, so there's really no changes at all to this. You can set your speed to slow, medium, fast, or you can customize it however you want. So I usually leave it on medium. This one right here, I can, you really don't need that button because see, it's telling you right here that you can actually change this on the side right here, and it'll change according to whichever mode that you want it on. Very useful, by the way. This is absolutely the reason why I got the RS3, RS4 versus the mini model, okay? Because the mini model, they don't have to switch. Okay, so now let's talk about is this worth the upgrade or not if you're coming from RS3. I would say I have an RS3, and I don't think this would be a very good upgrade for you people that already have the RS3. But if you're brand new to the gimbal scene, definitely pick this one up over the RS3 because they've definitely improved a lot of things on here. So the first thing you're going to notice is the RS communication module right here. That is definitely a pro feature that they've added in here over the RS3. Also, they've added in some new Teflon to the arm so that it moves in and out a little bit smoother. I have a really heavy setup right here with my 16 to 35 millimeter and an A7 IV with a cage, so it's pretty heavy. I don't feel like that helped at all in this. You still have to lift your camera a little bit in order to move it back, in and out to balance. So that really didn't get upgraded at all in my opinion, even though they said they did. The new feature where you can switch from zooming to controlling your gimbal right here. That switch right there, it's only good if you have a module that controls the zoom of the lens. I don't have that because this is the regular edition, the RS4. It doesn't even come with the case, so I don't think that's very useful either. But it's nice that they have it there so that you can buy accessories and add it on there in the future. Last but not least, if you unlock this arm right here, which by the way, it's not very intuitively unlocked. So yeah, you can shoot vertical now, but to me, this is probably not an ideal situation, especially if you're like me who balance the gimbal quite a bit. Right now, in vertical mode, it is off balance. So I'm pretty sure I can unlock this and it'll work just fine because the rodent is pretty strong. No problem there. I guess it's a quick fix if you wanted to, get in some quick vertical video, but I still would like to balance my gimbal. Anyway, that's it right there, guys. That's my RS4 first look, I guess I should say. It's It's not the biggest upgrade that I've had in gimbal. If you're not making money with your gimbal, I would just probably stick with your current setup, the RS3. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm out. Have a good one.